Derp, derpity derp 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 diddy derp 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 diddy derp 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 derpity derp 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 derp.
Cocktopus Prime with the Cooter Report for the Skeptic Fence Show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna bag me some horn kickers tonight.
Let's see who we got this week.
From Jane, who says, a coworker confronted me in the break room and said she can't believe in a God who let her baby of 3 years old die, suffering a long battle in and out of hospitals while he heals other children. She asked me, why did God allow my baby to die? I told her that I didn't know why her child died, but God sees the whole picture. We see only in part. What else can I say?
Well, what you have to understand, I think, in the Old Testament, it was like God's responsible for everything. He brings out the bad, he brings out the good, he's responsible for everything. More and more in the New Testament era, we have come to realize that human beings have an agency, they have responsibility. And a lot of things happen because of what humans do.
Yeah.
I mean, people die in hospitals because of medical malpractice. Somebody cuts the wrong thing and somebody dies. It happens all the time. A nurse gives a patient the wrong medicine. Well, you going to blame that on God? That's not God. That's people who are making mistakes.
While things like medical malpractice do happen and people do make mistakes all the time, somebody could accidentally run over somebody else. And sure, it would be stupid to constantly blame that on God, but that was not the woman's point at all. She said, my 3-year-old baby was in and out of the hospital with all kinds of sicknesses and ailments, illnesses, died, and she can't believe in a God that would let her kid die but heals other children. When bad things happen to babies, basically put it off on people, because people make mistakes. That's not God. God got all his baby killing out of the way in the Old Testament, right? Yeah. And Pat, you haven't mentioned all the people out there who, all the fundamentalists who like pray for their kids to get better. What about them? What happens when they die? What's the excuse? Where's the medical malpractice? I guess the only problem here is that people were dumb enough to pray instead of taking their kids to the fucking doctor, huh? I guess you can't really play it off on, oh, it's not God's fault if they're praying to your God to heal their child and the child still dies. But don't worry, because Pat, who just assured us that it is not God's fault that babies die, but people's mistakes and like medical malpractice, is now going to say that if God did, in fact, kill the baby purposely, don't worry, because he's got a fucking excuse. Get a load of this shit.
Now, as far as God's concerned, he knows the end from the beginning, and he sees a little baby, and that little baby could grow up to be Adolf Hitler, he could grow up to be Joseph Stalin, he could grow up to be some serial killer, or he could go up to die of a hideous disease. God sees all that. And for that life to be terminated while he's a baby, he's going to be with God forever in heaven. So that isn't a bad thing. So how could God do that? How could a good God let that happen? Well, the good God is going to take that baby to heaven right now, and that isn't a bad thing.
So that's, you heard it from Pat. It's okay if God kills babies, because that baby could have grown up to be the next Hitler or Stalin or been a serial killer or just died of a disease. Apparently a baby dying from a disease is better than, let's say, someone living like a 40 or 50-year life and then getting a disease and dying, because then the baby gets immediately to go to heaven. Now, the baby isn't even old enough to read the Bible or understand the point of religion, but apparently that's okay, straight to heaven. Who knows if they grow up in heaven or if they stay like a baby. All the details, just make them up as you go, just like Pat's doing here, with excuses for why God would kill babies. An all-powerful God, mind you, that could have just kept the baby from being conceived, made it so that the parents never met, or better yet, just make the baby be good. It's amazing that Pat comes up with these ideas like, oh, we're killing future Hitlers, when God didn't, kill Hitler. There are still douchebags and murderers out in the world. God doesn't kill them as adults. He didn't kill them as babies. Why does he just choose random babies to kill? Oh, I'll tell you why. Because he doesn't fucking exist. He doesn't kill anybody. Babies just fucking die. It's a fact of reality, and these facts of reality are very hard for the religious, like Pat fucking Robertson, to deal with and to excuse away with an all-loving God. It's a very difficult process to, like, well, you see, it could have been Hitler, but then again, it could have been just medical malpractice. You see, that's probably why your baby died, so believe in Jesus. Like, you're not convincing anybody. The lady who made the point that she couldn't believe in a God that let her baby die, but saves other babies, has not been convinced one bit by you telling her it was the hospital's fault or your baby was going to be Hitler. So she's not going to start believing in your fucking God. You're not being convincing at all. The question was, what can I say to this woman to bring her, back to God? And you're not saying anything that's convincing to anyone that doesn't already buy into your retarded bullshit. And it's with great pleasure that I would like to present Pat Robertson the Cooter Award for being the dumbest horn kicker I could find this week. He's got quite a collection of Cooter Awards that he's been given. So enjoy, Pat, you dumb piece of shit. Until next time.
Cooter!
Derp 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 diddy derp 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 diddy derp 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 diddy derp 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 derp.